Hello, wonderful people. Welcome back to my channel, The Teacher's Best Friend. This is Marilu Areno. So for today's episode, we're going to talk about J1 Visa. So it's J1 Visa 101 and everything you need to know about J1 Visa. Are you ready? Let's begin. So first, let us define what is a J1 visa. J1 visa, sometimes it's called Exchange Visitor Program. An exchange visitor is a non-immigrant visa, and it is used for individual whose intention or purpose is to study or work in the United States as non-immigrant. So that is a J1 visa, an exchange visitor program. So, what is the purpose of Exchange Visitor Program or the J1? So, the Exchange Visitor Program fosters global understanding through educational and cultural exchanges. So, that says it, educational and cultural exchanges. That is why all the J1 visa participants are expected to learn the culture of the United States or the place where they are going to be assigned. And for students, it's the same way. They will immerse themselves to the culture. And then since they need to go back to their home country, they are also expected to share their experiences and cultural learning when they go back to their home country. So who are eligible to apply for J1 visa? So as I've mentioned, we have the teachers, the scholars, and even the professors, physician, intern trainees, secondary school students. And sometimes usually these are the students who completed their junior in high school and they will study their seniors in the United States. And after that, some students that are interested in enrolling to college and universities, they can also avail J1 visa. And included in the J1 visa are the camp counselor and the au pair. If they have like an expat or employers that are working for the government, the au pair are eligible for J1 visa. So, what are the J1 visa requirements for teachers? I would like to focus this time on teachers because the last time in my other episode, I've mentioned about other professions. And this time, let's focus on teachers because most questions about J1 visa are coming from teachers. So, let's evaluate. So the purpose of visit, as I mentioned, is the teacher needs to teach in a K to 12 school, either a public or private or charter school. So that is the purpose, to teach. And the requirement is, let's say if you are a special ed teacher, J1 visa, who is going to work in the United States or applying in the United States, you are expected to be working in your home country as a special ed teacher as well. And you have at least 2 years teaching experiences in your home country and you completed your bachelor's degree. That's the minimum requirement, but it can go up to the higher level of education. So visitor eligibility. So minimum 2 years teaching experience, as I've mentioned, and they need to have their credentials evaluated to make sure that their education in their home country is equivalent to the bachelor's degree in the United States. And how long is the duration of their visit if you are on a J1 visa? Usually they give up to 3 years, but just recently they are giving 2 year extension. So if your employer or the school district, they like your performance and they recommend you to stay for another 2 years, then you will be able to stay in the United States up to 5 years. But reminder, the 5 years is not straight like you stay 5 years. You are free to go home and visit your home country as long as you have a valid DS 2019 or the visa. So you can come back to your country, you don't have to really finish 5 years before you can go home. Okay, so you can visit your families and friends. And can you reapply again after you completed your program? And it says yes, but you need to complete your 2 year residency, or you need to go home to your country or outside the United States. But there can be other way of doing it. I will discuss that in the future. So let's move to the next one. So who can sponsor you for J1 visa? In my series number 6, I have a discussion there on the list of J1 sponsors. So I would recommend you watch that series number 6, and you will see the lists of qualified J1 sponsors. And these J1 sponsors are usually institutions that work for the government or academic or research, or sometimes they are private sectors, but they met the requirements of the Department of State, and they were given the authority to be the J1 visa sponsor. So there is a rule and requirements to be able to become a sponsor for J1 visa. So check that list in my series number 6. Okay. So what is a DS 2019? If you have a J1 sponsor, the one who will process your DS 2019, this will be your document that you can use to get your J1 visa. So how are you going to do that? So DS 2019 is called the Certificate of Eligibility for Exchange Visitor, or the J1 status. And it is issued by the Department of State, controlled document. It has a number, and through the Student and Exchange Visitor Information System. So they have a system and they record everything. You will get a barcode and you will get a service ID, and identifies the participant. So in the DS 2019, if you are the J1, you can see your name there. You can see the name of your sponsoring agency for the J1. You can see the description of the program activity, such as, are you a teacher, are you a professor, are you a student, or a camp counselor? All those activity program that you are going to do in the United States. And it also include there the beginning and end dates of your program. Okay, so that is the DS 2019. And this is how it looks like. That is the sample image or picture of the DS 2019 that I am describing. Okay. So where do I apply for an exchange visitor program? So remember, DS 2019 is not a visa. It's just a certification of eligibility. So what you're going to do if you have that DS 2019 is you need to schedule an interview to the nearest US embassy or consulate in your home country. Like if you live in the Philippines, if you live in any part of the world, you need to find where the US embassy and schedule an interview. You will bring with you your DS 2019, that's the certificate of eligibility, and other pertinent documents that are needed. And then if you have a husband or children, you can also bring them for interview if they are issued with DS 2019, or if you already applied for them to get a DS 2019 under the category of J2. So, but usually if you are a teacher, they advise, especially the sponsoring agency, they advise like you go first and establish yourself. And then when you are already established, then get your family. It can be in a month or two. That's so fast. So just establish yourself, make sure they have a home to stay. And sometimes all the furniture are ready before your family can join you. So you need to go to the embassy, get interviewed, and they will issue your J1 visa. Okay? So what are the responsibilities and obligation of the exchange visitor program sponsors, or the J1 sponsors, and even the school? Okay? First, They are responsible for all the aspects of program. While you are in the US, they will monitor you, they will do the screening, they will do the selecting to make sure you are eligible and you met the requirements before they will even process your DS 2019. And then as you work, they will communicate with you and talk to you and give you some monitoring. Are you exposing yourself to culture, to learning? And then you are even required to document your visit in the US with pictures. What activities did you do? Did you participate with the cultural activities like, ceremonies, family days? Did you visit historical places and all of that? Because that is the purpose of a J1, to learn and immerse with the culture. And these sponsors can explain their program requirements and how their program works. So you're not going to be left alone. They will take care of you and make sure you are treated well. And the school district are following the rule of law in treating you, and they shouldn't be discriminating you just because you are exchange visitor teacher. Okay. So, another question which is very popular with J1 teachers. Can I stay in the US after the completion of my EVP program? I can say yes, and I can also say no, and no, but. Okay? So, we will explore all of those. So, if you fall on these categories, you will be subject to 2-year rule. It means you need to go home for residency in your home country for at least 2 years and then reapply. So if your program is funded by a government agency, it can be the US government or your home country government. So if you're funded by the government, you have no choice but to go home because the government send you there to share everything that you learn and go back. And then if your career or course belongs to the specialized knowledge skill, and these are the highly technical, like if you are a physics, if you are a special ed teacher, they call them the specialized skill. And sometimes the general ed teachers, like the elementary, those are supposed to be non-exempt, exempt with the 2-year rule, but it all depends on your interview at the embassy. Sometimes they will stamp your passport or your visa with exempted to the 2-year rule. And if that's when you're lucky. And then if you kind of, not your day at that time of your interview, they will stamp your visa with subject to 2-year rule. So it's all depending on what will they stamp on your visa. And another condition is if you are a graduate medical education, you are expected to go back to your home country and share your knowledge. So the answer is yes and a no. But I have a next episode. I'm going to explain to you in my next series how to apply for a visa waiver or no objection certificate or statement from your home country. Okay, you watch out for that because everything is possible. And are J2 subject to 2-year rule as well? And definitely whatever rule applies to the J1 also applies to the dependents. So there's no exemption in that. So, as I mentioned, I have an upcoming series about waiver application. How are you going to waive your 2-year residency? And how are you going to obtain no objection statement from your home country? That will be in my next episode. And I will tell you, do not give up on your dream because I am a living example. I came in the US in early 2000 as a J1 teacher and now I am a naturalized US citizen. So everything is possible. There are ways. Okay, so watch out for my next episode on waiver application and no objection statement. So thank you for watching, and I hope you learned a lot about J1 Visa and what is it all about. Okay, so don't forget to comment if you have questions or email me at theteachersbestfriend@gmail.com for further information, and it's free consultation. Just don't forget to like and subscribe with my channel if you feel like it benefits you. So for now, I say thank you and bye bye, and to God be the glory. See you next time. Bye for now.